In what may go down as the most explosive meltdown in love and hip-hop history, a savage on-set brawl between Rasheeda and Jessica Dime has left fans reeling and cast members scrambling to pick up the pieces. But the real shocker, Yandy Smith Harris, usually the voice of reason, was seen storming off set in a flood of tears, screaming "I'm done," as security rushed in to break up the chaos. What in the world just happened? It all went down during what producers thought would be a calm reunion, taping a chance to reflect, resolve, and move forward. But what unfolded was nothing short of a reality TV war zone. Eyewitnesses say Rasheeda and Jessica Dime clashed like never before, with verbal attacks quickly escalating into glass-shattering rage. Chairs flew, makeup smeared. Security had to physically restrain both women as screaming echoed through the studio. And Yandy, the usually composed queen of calm and diplomacy, she was caught in the crossfire literally. Sources claim Rasheeda's drink went flying during the scuffle, narrowly missing Yandy's face. But it wasn't just the chaos that broke her, it was what was said. Accusations flew about betrayals, secrets, and a twisted plan to sabotage friendships. Yandy, blindsided and heartbroken, fled the set mid-scene, ripping off her mic and yelling, "This is not what I signed up for." Fans are shocked. Cast members are picking sides. And producers? Reportedly left scrambling as contracts, friendships, and reputations go up in flames. What did Jessica say that set Rasheeda off? What secret pushed Yandy over the edge? And has the sisterhood that once held the ATL cast together finally shattered beyond repair? Grab your tea and take a deep breath. We're about to break down the betrayal, the breakdown, and the moment that sent Yandy running for the exit. The room was tense from the very beginning, and everyone on set could feel it. There was an unspoken electricity in the air, a kind of dread that made even the camera crew hesitate before pressing record. The reunion stage had been set up to look elegant, soft lighting, lush decor, velvet chairs, but none of that could mask the bitterness that lingered just beneath the surface. Rasheeda arrived first, composed but cold, her lips tight, her body stiff as she sat in her seat, barely greeting the crew. Jessica Dime came next, louder in both voice and presence, strutting with full glam and an unmistakable chip on her shoulder. They didn't speak, didn't even look at each other, but the tension was visible, palpable, like the air before a storm. The host tried to ease into the reunion by recapping some of the season's lighter moments, but it was obvious everyone was just waiting for the eruption. And when Yandy walked on set unaware of what had just happened behind the scenes, it set off a chain reaction that no one could stop. Just minutes before the cameras started rolling, Rasheeda had overheard Jessica talking with a makeup artist, allegedly mocking Rasheeda's loyalty to her husband and throwing shade about faking like her marriage is perfect just to keep a storyline. Rasheeda heard enough to know it wasn't a compliment, and it wasn't the first time Jessica had spoken out of turn. So when the topic of loyalty among the ladies came up during filming, it only took a few seconds for the entire vibe to turn. Jessica, clearly already hyped, interrupted the host and said, "Let's just stop pretending like everybody here been real this season. Some of y'all only show up when the cameras do." Rasheeda raised an eyebrow and fired back. "You talking about me? Just say it, Jessica. You bold in the glam room, but you scared on stage?" Jessica didn't flinch. "Girl, don't act like I ain't been carrying this show while you've been busy rehearsing your lines and defending your man's cheating ways. Nobody's checking for fake relationship goals anymore." The audience gasped. Rasheeda's face flushed instantly, her jaw tightening as she leaned forward, trying to keep her cool. "You better watch your mouth," she said, low and sharp. "Don't ever speak on my marriage again. You don't know what the hell you're talking about." But Jessica was on a roll. "Nah, I do know," she snapped. "I know you care more about keeping your image cute than keeping it real. And I know half the stuff you post on Instagram is cap. You're just mad someone finally called you out. That was it." Rasheeda stood up, knocking over her chair, her voice suddenly sharp as glass. "You don't know me like that. You don't ever disrespect my family." Security started moving in, but Jessica wasn't backing down. "Or what? You gonna slap me with another makeup brush?" she mocked, standing too. And that's when the first drink flew. Rasheeda's wine glass soared across the stage, shattering just inches from Jessica's heels. Gasps filled the studio. Crew members rushed forward. Yandy, stunned, tried to intervene, holding her hands out between the two women. "Y'all, this ain't it. Chill out, this is not how we supposed to move." But they weren't listening. Jessica charged forward, breaking past security for a moment as Rasheeda was dragged back by two staffers. In the chaos, another glass fell, a table tipped over, and Yandy caught the edge of the spray liquid, hitting her designer outfit and barely missing her face. That's when she lost it. Yandy screamed, "I am done with this toxic mess," and ripped off her mic, storming off the stage. "I don't need this. I don't need this energy in my life." The cameras were still rolling, but production had no choice but to call a pause. Everyone was shaken. Jessica was cussing out the crew. Rasheeda was pacing in a corner with her hair now half undone, and Yandy was outside, crying, speaking to someone on the phone. "I swear I'm not built for this anymore," she sobbed. "I tried to bring peace. I tried to be the adult, and they turned on me. For what?" Back inside, producers were scrambling to figure out how to continue the reunion. The audience had been ushered out temporarily, and the cast was being held in separate rooms to cool down. But the damage was already done. Word had already gotten out. A staff assistant had leaked what happened to a gossip blogger, an anonymous DM with just 6 words. "They fighting." Yandy walked off crying. Within an hour, social media exploded. #WhyAndy storms out started trending. Fans debated what happened. Was Rasheeda wrong? Did Jessica go too far? Why was Yandy the one caught in the crossfire? The footage hadn't even aired yet, but screen grabs from the reunion were already flooding timelines. The blogs twisted every angle. Some said Jessica had been ambushed and was just defending herself. Others claimed Rasheeda had finally snapped from the pressure of pretending her marriage was solid when everyone knew it wasn't. But the fans weren't prepared for what came next. Hours later, Yandy took to Instagram Live from her car. Still emotional, her voice cracked as she said, "I know y'all have questions. I know you want to know what happened. But honestly, I walked away. Because I've been trying to keep the peace all season, and it's clear some people feed off drama. That's not my spirit. That's not who I am. I didn't come here to be a punching bag literally or emotionally." Her live hit 200,000 viewers in less than 10 minutes. And that's when things really got messy, because in the comments, Jessica Dime herself popped in and left 3 words, "Girl, bye. Fake." Yandy read it in real time and froze. "Oh, that's cute," she said. "Now you're bold online. Should have had that energy when I was standing right in front of you, crying over your mess." Fans exploded. The comment section turned into a war zone. People took sides. Team Yandy, Team Rasheeda, Team Jessica. Everyone had a theory, a take, a screenshot to prove who was right. But what none of them knew yet was that the cameras had caught everything, including something the fans hadn't seen. A whisper caught on a hot mic that would change everything. A backstage conversation between Jessica and another cast member just before the reunion began. A voice saying, "I'ma poke Rasheeda till she snaps. That's the only way we gonna get a moment." The whisper caught on that hot mic changed everything. "I'ma poke Rasheeda till she snaps. That's the only way we gonna get a moment." It was unmistakably Jessica Dime's voice. Unfiltered, calculated, proof that the entire confrontation may not have been spontaneous but staged. And the worst part, it wasn't just her in that clip. There was a second voice, faint but familiar. A cast member many considered a neutral figure, someone who'd spent the whole season floating between groups, acting above the chaos. Spice. Fans had speculated for weeks that Spice had been unusually quiet, avoiding drama but staying oddly close to Jessica throughout filming. And now, in this leaked moment, her soft laugh could be heard in response to Jessica's line. "She always snaps when her man comes up. Just say Kirk and wait." That was it. 2 sentences, but they detonated the fandom like dynamite. Within hours, the clip leaked on Twitter. It was reposted over 50,000 times in one night. Blogs jumped on it. YouTubers did instant reaction videos. Memes exploded. Suddenly, What looked like a fiery, emotional outburst from two rivals now appeared premeditated, strategic. Manipulation masked as drama. And Yandy? She felt betrayed. When her team forwarded her the clip the next morning, she was silent for a long time, just watching, replaying the moment Jessica planned the ambush. Hearing her own name dragged into a mess she had never signed up for. And worst of all, realizing that while she cried on camera, overwhelmed and vulnerable, the people she thought were her cast sisters were laughing behind her back. She posted nothing that day, but Rasheeda. She posted everything. Within hours of the leak, Rasheeda uploaded a black and white video of herself, raw-faced, no makeup, sitting in her kitchen. "I knew it," she said, her voice steady. "Y'all called me fake. Y'all tried to humiliate me, but I knew I wasn't crazy. I felt the setup in my bones." She didn't even name Jessica or Spice, but she didn't need to. This ain't reality TV no more. This real life. You tried to break me for ratings, for clout, for a moment. Baby, I built my name off class. But now, I'm done being quiet. I'm not playing polite anymore. The comments flooded in. Celebrities, fans, even former castmates from other franchises. Cardi B commented, "Say it louder, sis." Tamar Braxton reposted the video with the caption, "Phew, the fakery is deep." And while all eyes were on Rasheeda, Jessica Dime remained unapologetic. She uploaded an Instagram story, no sound, just her sipping wine in a robe with the caption, "Booked and unbothered." But the comments were brutal. Thousands of fans turned on her. The mood had shifted. The audience wasn't cheering for chaos anymore, they were demanding accountability. VH1 issued a brief statement, claiming the reunion was filmed under emotionally heightened conditions and promising a full episode addressing the behind-the-scenes drama. But fans weren't satisfied. They wanted the truth, and they wanted it from Yandy. Finally, 48 hours after the hot mic leak, Yandy broke her silence. Sitting in her living room, no glam, no filter, she spoke directly into her phone. "I took time before I said anything because I didn't want to respond from pain," she said. "But now that I've seen the footage, heard the whispers, read the receipts, I'm disappointed. Deeply. Because I really believed we were building something better." She paused, visibly emotional. "I came on this show to represent strength, motherhood, balance. But y'all made me collateral damage in your little games. And for what? A viral moment? A trending hashtag?" She didn't yell. She didn't curse. But her disappointment hit harder than any clapback. "I've been in this industry a long time. I've seen drama. I've lived it. But this was different. This was personal." That live stream became her most watched video ever. Over 800,000 views in 12 hours. And still, Jessica Dime didn't back down. The next night, she did her own live makeup, flawless, energy defiant. "Y'all mad at me for doing exactly what reality TV is," she said, sipping from a champagne flute. "Y'all act shocked like you don't know how this works. This ain't new. The cameras love mess. The audience loves mess. I just gave y'all what you came for." But then she said something that made jaws drop. "And if you think I was the only one planning moments, y'all better check your favorites. Ain't nobody innocent out here, including Yandy." That comment set off a nuclear-level debate. Online, fans started pulling old clips, analyzing Yandy's interactions all season, trying to see if she had indeed played both sides. A clip resurfaced from earlier in the season, Yandy giving Rasheeda advice to stand her ground during a party scene, only to be seen minutes later telling Jessica not to let anyone punk her on camera. The narrative began to shift. Was Yandy a victim or a silent strategist? Was Rasheeda really ambushed, or had she played along until things got too real? And then, Spice spoke, quietly, carefully, on a late night IG live with dim lighting and barely any makeup. "Y'all know me," she said. "I don't do all this drama, but I can't stay silent no more." That clip? It was taken out of context. Yes, I laughed. Yes, I said some things I shouldn't have, but I never wanted it to go that far. I didn't know Yandy would get hurt. I didn't know it would become all this. Her voice cracked as she added, "I'm sorry." Especially to Yandy. Yandy responded minutes later, writing, "Thank you, Spice. That means more than you know." It was the first olive branch in weeks. Fans were surprised but relieved. maybe, just maybe, there was still a chance for healing. Meanwhile, the reunion episode still hadn't aired, but teasers began dropping like bombs. The biggest shock? A clip showing Rasheeda backstage before the fight, clearly anxious, muttering to herself, "I know Jessica coming for me. They told me in glam." Wait, what? Fans were confused. Who was they? Did Rasheeda know the confrontation was coming? Was her explosion truly spontaneous? Or did she lean into it for the cameras, only to backtrack when it spiraled out of control? The lines between real and reality TV were blurring fast. And in the middle of it all, the viewers were eating it up every twist, every frame, every exposed lie. Because this wasn't just drama. This was betrayal wrapped in diamonds and delivered with a catchphrase. And it was only getting deeper. The clip of Rasheeda backstage whispering, "They told me in glam," was the gasoline the fandom didn't know it needed. If she knew in advance that Jessica was going to come for her, then why react like it was a blindside? Was it all an act? Was her rage scripted? Fans went into overdrive. Comment sections exploded. So Rasheeda knew and still threw that glass. Yandy really walked into a trap, and now it looks like she was the only one being honest. The betrayal felt layered, not just among the cast, but between the cast and their fans. Social media was no longer watching for entertainment. It was hunting for truth. Every old clip was analyzed frame by frame. And in the chaos, Rasheeda's silence grew louder. She didn't post. She didn't respond to comments. She didn't clarify that backstage remark. For 3 whole days, she vanished. And that's when things took an even darker turn, because her husband Kirk Frost suddenly inserted himself into the conversation. In a now deleted Instagram story, Kirk wrote, "Y'all don't even know the half. Reality TV is chess, not checkers. Rasheeda ain't stupid." Just 7 words, but they hit like a slap. Chess, not checkers. That implied strategy. That implied intent. Which meant Rasheeda knew this would happen and played into it for camera time. The backlash was brutal. Fans felt duped. The same woman they had just rallied behind was now being accused of faking outrage to create a narrative. Meanwhile, Jessica Dime, who had previously been the villain, started gaining sympathy. "At least Jessica owned it," people tweeted. "She gave us drama and admitted it." Rasheeda playing both sides. But the one person who still hadn't said a word since Spice's apology was Yandy. That changed on the Friday morning before the reunion aired, when she dropped a YouTube vlog titled "The Truth About the Reunion Fight," a raw 23-minute sit-down recorded in her living room. She looked exhausted, barefaced, no glam. "We're treating it like a movie set. That's when I knew I had to speak up. Not just for me, but for everybody watching who believes what they see." Behind the scenes, producers were panicking. Sponsors had begun pulling out. Cast contracts were being reviewed. The network was caught in a PR nightmare. For the first time in love and hip-hop history, executives considered airing a bonus episode of Full Expose special to unpack the drama and give the cast a chance to address the backlash. But things got worse when another leak hit the internet. An anonymous source dropped a series of emails between producers and Jessica's team discussing conflict build-up points, including exact phrases for her to use to provoke Rasheeda and make sure Yandy reacts emotionally. The subject line? "We need a viral meltdown this week." That leak changed the tone completely. What once seemed like petty drama now looked like emotional sabotage. Fans began questioning the ethics of the entire franchise. Mental health advocates spoke out. A viral tweet read, "So y'all out here triggering trauma for content? Nah, this ain't it." Yandy responded in a TikTok, captioned simply, "And y'all thought I was being dramatic." She showed herself watching the leaked emails with a look of disgust. No words, just truth. And the comments rallied behind her harder than ever. Even former Love and Hip Hop cast members started speaking up. Tahiri from New York, Erica Dixon from Atlanta, and even April Jones from Hollywood. "This is what they do," April said in an Instagram reel. "You try to stay real, and they punish you for it." Yandy just had the guts to show the receipts. Meanwhile, Jessica Dime finally re-emerged via a clearly sponsored video with a flat tummy tea company, trying to laugh off the controversy. Everybody mad, but y'all still watching. So what's the truth? But the tone was off. The comments were brutal. Read the room. This ain't cute, sis. You lost us. And then came the final strike. VH1 announced it was putting Love and Hip Hop Atlanta on an indefinite hiatus. The statement read, "In light of recent revelations and the response from our dedicated audience, we will be reevaluating the structure, ethics, and future of the El Ho franchise. Thank you for holding us accountable." Boom! Just like that, the empire that helped launch careers, expose scandals, and entertain millions was suddenly on pause. And at the center of it all stood Yandy, not just a cast member but now a movement, a voice, a mirror held up to the industry. And while others scrambled to spin the narrative, Yandy stayed quiet until she posted one last message on her Instagram story. Black screen, white text. It read, "I didn't play the game. I changed it." The reaction was instantaneous. Fans declared her the new queen of ATL. Brands offered her partnerships. Mental health organizations reached out for collaborations. And in the middle of the storm, one truth rang clear: Yandy didn't just survive the most explosive reunion in love and hip-hop history. She transformed it. She exposed the blueprint. And in doing so, she forced an entire industry to confront its darkest practices. Because in a world built on scripted chaos and pretend emotions, the one woman who chose authenticity became the realest force of all. And just like that, the glittering, glamorous world of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta has crumbled beneath the weight of its own secrets. What started as another messy reunion has unraveled into a full-blown industry reckoning. From shattered friendships to exposed strategies, leaked emails to backstage whispers, we've seen it all, and it's been ugly. Rasheeda, once the poised matriarch of the ATL cast, is now facing backlash she may never fully recover from. Jessica Dime's unapologetic villain era turned sour when fans realized just how deep the manipulation ran. And the producers? Caught red-handed orchestrating breakdowns for views. But in the center of this chaos stood one woman, Yandy Smith Harris, who refused to play along, who chose tears over tactics, truth over television, and real emotion over manufactured moments. She didn't just walk off set. She walked into the hearts of millions who saw themselves in her pain, her power, and her refusal to be used. But now we turn to you, the viewers who have ridden this roller coaster with us. What do you think? Was Rasheeda's reaction justified, or was it all a calculated act? Did Jessica Dime cross the line, or just do what reality TV demands? And Yandy, did she truly change the game, or just catch her moment at the right time? Are you still rooting for your favorite cast members, or are you seeing them in a whole new light? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We need to hear from you. Whose side are you on? What shocked you the most? And should Love and Hip Hop ATL even return after this? If you want more behind-the-scenes bombshells, real-time breakdowns, and drama that keeps it realer than reality TV ever dared, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss the next chapter in this wild world of unscripted chaos. Until next time, stay loud, stay bold, and stay tuned.